Backlash 2025, the return of Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley, a night that changed WWE forever. The world of professional wrestling thrives on moments. Moments that grip you, shake you, and leave you speechless. Moments that become the very fabric of wrestling history. And at Backlash 2025, the WWE delivered a moment so shocking, so emotionally charged, that it immediately etched itself into the annals of professional wrestling. The night had already seen its fair share of chaos. Titles changed hands. Alliances shattered. The French crowd was electric, the atmosphere, palpable from the first bell. But no one could have ever predicted the chaos that would unfold after the final match. Seth Rollins, fresh from an extraordinary, grueling encounter, stood tall in the center of the ring, clutching his championship. Victory was his. But as he leaned against the ropes, battered and bruised, something in the air felt different. Strange. The lights in the arena flickered. Silence washed over the crowd. And then, something even more unsettling, a heartbeat. Rhythmic. Steady. An eerie drum in the distance that cut through the quiet. Cut to the main event, Seth Rollins vs. the World. The camera zooms in on Seth Rollins, the WWE Universal Champion, as he takes a deep breath and stares at the fans who are still on their feet. His chest rises and falls with exhaustion, yet his face is painted with pride. Rollins had been through hell and back. This wasn't just any regular match. It was a battle for survival, a test of not just his body, but his heart. The passion, the determination, the sheer willpower to hold on to his gold, it was everything he had worked for, and he had earned it. And yet, for all the celebration that came with it, something was wrong. And then, just as the crowd began to settle into the aftermath of Rollins' victory, the unthinkable happened. The lights cut out. A sharp, unsettling static filled the arena's speakers, reverberating throughout the entire venue. The crowd held its breath, uncertain of what would come next. In the eerie quiet, only one thing could be heard, a heartbeat. Deep. Steady. Heavy. Each thump echoed with intensity, growing louder and louder, as though it were a countdown to something monumental. Then, the Titantron flickered to life. Static gave way to black and white footage. Footsteps. The sound of broken glass crunching underfoot. The scraping of a chain dragged across concrete. Tension built with every passing second. The audience stared, waiting for something, anything, to reveal itself. And then, from the shadows, emerged a figure, one so iconic, so feared, that the arena trembled with a mixture of shock and anticipation. Revelation, Roman Reigns' return. It was Roman Reigns. The tribal chief. The head of the table. The man who had dominated WWE for years with an iron fist. The man who had seemingly vanished from the spotlight after WrestleMania 2025. Gone, but not forgotten. And as the crowd erupted, shaking the arena with deafening cheers and gasps of disbelief, Roman Reigns stood at the top of the ramp. His eyes locked with Seth Rollins, the champion in the ring. But Roman wasn't alone. The arrival of Jon Moxley. Out of the shadows, another figure slowly emerged. A figure that would change everything. No music. No grand entrance. Just pure intensity. It was Jon Moxley. The former WWE champion. The man who had walked away from WWE years ago to find his own path and build his legacy elsewhere. Jon Moxley. Back. In the same arena, on the same stage, but this time, he wasn't here for a one-time appearance. This wasn't a cameo. No handshake. No smile. This was a statement. The shockwave through the WWE universe. And just like that, the world of WWE was turned upside down. The man who had once been known as Dean Ambrose, who had made headlines for walking away from the company, creating a legacy in AEW. was now standing side by side with the man who had once been his biggest rival, Roman Reigns. The crowd was in disbelief. The arena was shaking with excitement, confusion, and anticipation. The heartbeat that had echoed through the speakers seemed like a distant memory now, drowned out by the sheer volume of the reaction. Roman Reigns. Jon Moxley. Together. The tension builds, a new era begins. For months, the WWE Universe had speculated. Where had Roman Reigns gone? What was next for Seth Rollins and his Universal Championship reign? And now, just when everyone thought they had the answers, the arrival of Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley raised more questions than ever before. Was this a reunion of the Shield, or something far darker? Did Moxley's return signal a new era for WWE? Were these two men forming an alliance, or was something much more dangerous brewing beneath the surface? Roman Reigns' first words. As the camera zoomed in on Roman Reigns, the arena fell into an intense silence. Roman slowly raised his hand, the Universal Championship belt still clasped tightly in his other hand. His face, as stoic as ever, betrayed nothing. But in his eyes, there was a fire that had been reignited. A fire that burned with purpose. Roman's voice was calm, yet powerful, as he spoke. Roman Reigns, cutting through the silence. This is my world. This is our world. And if you thought I was gone for good, you're sorely mistaken. Moxley joins in. Moxley stepped forward, his wild eyes scanning the crowd, soaking in the chaos that surrounded him. His face twisted into a grin, the kind that only someone like Jon Moxley could pull off. Jon Moxley, with a growl. You thought you knew what to expect, but we've been living in the shadows for too long. Now, it's our turn. The shocking alliance, what's next? The world was in shock. The WWE Universe was buzzing with questions. What did this alliance between Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley mean for the future of the company? Was this the beginning of a new era, where the past and present collided in the most explosive way possible? The night had already been filled with chaos, but what was coming next was something no one could have ever predicted. As Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley stood side by side, their intentions unclear, the future of WWE hung in the balance. Seth Rollins had survived his match, but was he prepared for what was to come? Was he ready to defend his title not just against Roman, but against a man who knew him inside and out? A man who once stood by his side in the Shield. And what about the other champions? What would they have to say when the Tribal Chief and the Lunatic Fringe set their sights on everything WWE had to offer? Backstage reactions, the fallout. Backstage, chaos was unfolding. WWE officials scrambled to make sense of what had just transpired. Wrestlers and superstars alike were in disbelief. The return of Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley wasn't just a shocking moment, it was a declaration. A declaration that things in WWE were about to change. And no one, absolutely no one, knew what that meant for the future. The aftermath, fans react. The internet exploded. Social media was flooded with reactions. Fans couldn't believe their eyes. The once-in-a-lifetime reunion of Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley had come to fruition, and WWE would never be the same again. But the question remained, what was next for Seth Rollins? What would Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley do? And how would WWE respond to this unprecedented challenge? Backlash 2025 will go down as one of the most unforgettable nights in WWE history. A night where the past and present collided in an explosion of raw emotion, shock, and power. Roman Reigns and Jon Moxley are back. Together. And they've made one thing clear, this is just the beginning. For Seth Rollins, the fight is far from over. And for everyone else in WWE, the question is no longer, who's next? It's, who's left? Thank you for joining us here on Wrestling News CC for this incredible breakdown. Stay tuned for more updates, because the war in WWE has just begun. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ring, because anything can happen. If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the Wrestling News CC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.